town. No use wearing a frown. Though them other guys may put you down, I'm gonna let you wear my crown.
Greetings everyone. Welcome to the Sir Squeezeback Show. Ideas, arts and music focusing on the African diaspora. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone and to thank you for watching the Sir Squeezeback Show. My name is Black Box and I'm your host from Manasseh Promotion. It's a pleasure again to be here with you. We got a very special show today. And I hope that you pay close attention to what we're about to inform you about, and I hope you participate. I would like to start the program out by reading a poem from someone who's very dear to me. As a matter of fact, I had a visit just recently from this individual. This poem was written on October 27th, 1927 by the great Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And the title is Have Faith in Self. Today I made myself in life anew by going to that royal font of truth and searching for the secret of the few whose goal in life and aim is joy forsought. I found at last the friend and counselor that taught me all that I in life should know. It is the soul, the sovereign chancellor, the guide and keeper of the good you sow. I am advised, go ye, have faith in self, and seek once more the guide that lives in you. Much better than the world of sordid pelf, alas, I found the counsel to be true. Aha! I know right now that I shall see the good in life and be a better man. I will by thought and deed pull all to me in saving others, yeah, everyone. Go down and search yourself a while in part and tell me all of what you see and hear. Isn't there something pulling you at your heart? Tell me the truth, and have ye then no fear. There is a voice that speaks to man within. It is the soul that longs for you to know. There is no need for you to grope in sin, for you in truth and light may ever grow. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Ladies and gentlemen, condolences to the family of Mr. Seabarrow. Mr. Seabarrow lost a son a couple of weeks ago, and would like to pay homage to him. And young Joseph, I used to teach Joseph in the Community Church of Morrisania. They had a Martin Luther King Ministry to Teenagers program that was created by Reverend William Thompson. And Joseph was one of the members, always have a smile on his face. And Joseph, wherever you are in spirit, I hope you have that smile rolling. And the Creator took you for a reason. We can't question those things. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I have with me on the show today a gentleman from an organization with a purpose, an organization on the move, an organization with a vision, and an organization on a mission. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Mr. Jeffrey Atkins, board member and secretary of African Friends of the United States, AFOS, formerly Ghanaian Friends of the United States. Welcome, Mr. Atkins.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have you here. You know, when I heard about this organization and what the organization was trying to do, I became somewhat interested. And I just want to touch base with you a little bit, talk to me about the organization. But first, how long have you been with AFOS?
Well, AFOS itself is 10 years old. It was founded by Prince Samson Afri Fontamfrom. And as president and founder of this organization, he had a vision. And his vision was based upon two things. Initially, himself being of royal family from Ghana, and bringing the culture and traditions of his own country to the United States and sharing them with Americans. And secondly, to make sure that Americans learn more about African culture, tradition, and history. And that was his original purpose. But as he became aware of African Americans and how little they knew about Africa, he realized he had to expand that vision beyond just, you know, what the initial conversation of just culture, introducing culture.
Right. Well, you know, Jeffrey, I do know that in the United States especially, there's not a lot of African culture readily available. And to think about the drumming, I understand that African Friends have some of the grandest drums on this side of the world. Tell me a little bit about the drums that African Friends of the United States have to bring to the table.
Well, you know, it's interesting because you see African drums sometimes in different places, but AFOS has brought in $200,000 worth of drums. These are original drums that were used for ceremonies. And as you know, in Africa, the drum is used for everything, for weddings.
That's right.
It's used for funerals.
That's right.
It's used for births, to announce births.
That's right.
If someone is lost, it's used to help find that person, to let people know, and no matter how far away they are, that someone is missing from the village or someone is gone.
Right.
So the drum plays a very special role in the life of Africans.
So it's an important medium of communication. So when we're not able to play the drums, when the slaves came here, they pulled that away from them, correct? They didn't allow them to do that.
Yes, as part of what happened, of course, as you know, is the language.
Absolutely.
You took people so that they came from different tribes, and you mixed them up on the plantation so that they couldn't communicate with each other because they were speaking different tongues, different languages.
Right.
And of course, the one thing that was consistent for everyone was the drum.
Right.
And without the drum, it didn't matter what tribe or what culture you were from. Everyone understood the drum.
That's right.
So without the drum, you really lost communication.
That's right. Everybody's all scattered away now, no way to communicate amongst each other readily. You know, Jeffrey, this parade, this go right to the point right there. Africa Day Parade. You know, Jeffrey, when I saw the flyer and I saw that it said celebrate the first Africa Day Parade, I said to myself, but this is not really the first Africa Day Parade, because there was a gentleman that I read a poem of earlier who initiated really the first set of Africa Day parades. But in modern era today, would you say this would be the first parade in the Africa Day?
Yes, and this speaks to one of the reasons why it's so important to have an organization like AFOS, because we don't know the history. You know, we don't know the history of Africans in America. We don't know the history of Africans in Africa. You know, so this, you're right, it's not the first parade for Africa, but it is the first modern day parade.
Correct.
And one of the things that makes it even more modern day is the fact that we have reached out to all 53 nations of Africa. And of course, back when the Garvey held his parade, there were not 53 nations in Africa.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, in paying homage to Marcus Mosiah Garvey, just to let the audience know, the red, the black, and the green is the African-American flag. And that flag is what speared the other flags, starting with Ghana, in terms of the colors in the flag. So we want to actually get that type of information out there. Now, I wanted you to tell me a little bit about the parade, Jeffrey, and, you know, what can we expect?
Well, the parade, number one, is an opportunity for us to show to Americans that Africa is not a country. You know, if I can just backtrack for a second, when I was a child growing up here as an African American, I was curious about Africa. And my curiosity came from two sources. One, I realized that I wasn't born in Europe, you know. And two, whenever I saw anything about Africa, I never really saw anything about Africans.
That's right.
I saw, the only thing I ever saw on television was Tarzan movies.
That's it.
And as I went through school, all through school, not once did I ever hear anything about Africans or African Americans. So my curiosity as I grew older led me to go to Africa. And so I've always had this desire to understand more about our homeland. And the first thing I began to realize is how much misinformation there is in our own country about Africa. So one of the purposes of AFOS is to help clarify Africa, to let people know first and foremost, Africa is not just one place. It's not just one country. It's not just one people. There's all kinds of people in Africa of all different races and religion. And the history goes way back. So many contributions to the world came from Africa. But more importantly, scientists always claim that the first man was in Africa. So no matter what you read or what you believe, one thing you do know, that even science and religion do agree that the origin of man is in Africa.
But still at the same time, even knowing that, even though they acknowledge that, they don't treat us that way. I mean, as far as...
Well, that's the point, I think, of having an organization such as this. You know, how many organizations do we have today where you have people from all over who consider themselves of African descent, who can sit at a table together and talk about culture and history and talk about their original roots and understand what's different in each country, you know, but some of the things that we carry on today here in the United States, you know, I always point out to my African friends that, you know, we have gullahs here, and the gullahs are carry on the Western traditions of Africa, and Geechees.
That's right. Just all homage to all the Gula people and Geechee people down south, South Carolina, North Carolina, that band of the United States. You know, Jeffrey, I sometimes wonder what would have happened if we actually get a chance to explore our culture. Because, you know, like you said just now, Africa is a continent. The French is a country in Europe, and they're different, and they're treated different than their next door neighbor, the Germans, or their next door neighbor, the Italians, or the British. But they are all in these small little pockets of folks. And here you have a vast continent, and they make it seem as if every single individual on that continent is the same. You understand?
Yes.
And that is one of the things that I would like to give